Hello everybody and welcome to another Transformers third party review. In today's video, thanks to the team at TF Direct, I'm taking a look at the BB7-02. This is the second masterpiece style figure that BB7 have released on their own. Normally they do joint ventures with the likes of Yes Model. It's kind of like a sister company, left and right hands. They both released a version of Skywarp at the same time, and then since then BB7 have done the MP10 upgrade kit for the hands and head. Like the Yes Model products, the BB7-02 has come packaged in a brown box with zero effort gone in, but I don't care about the packaging, it's what's inside that counts. So without further ado, let's crack this open. And here we have him out of the packaging. I hate these clamshells. They're a good idea, but they are quite flimsy when they're out of the packaging and everything just falls out of the tray. But it's to protect the product, not to make it look pretty. We also get a baggie included, which has our flight stand, our base, the section for the cape, and we have both the pilot and the doctor done in a chrome. Right, here we have him out of his plastic prison. And to be honest with you, this is probably the best one that BB7, Yes Model, or Kubanbao have done. It's a close contender between this and the YM03 Starscream, but it's got a very professional look and feel to it. So let's just take a quick look at the accessories. We get the missile pods, which can be stored underneath the wings. Now, Kubanbao do include a second hole on the wings, which, in my opinion, is a better option, so we can actually store both at the same time. Whereas with this, you have to switch out the null ray style things, or you can bring them forwards. But yeah, it's pretty much what it says on the tin. Now, I don't have the Takara version of Sunstorm, I have the Hasbro version of Sunstorm, but he comes with missile pods as well, and as you can see they are a brighter white, and the yellow used is kind of more orangey, I guess. It's actually kind of more in keeping with the tones used on this section of Sunstorm, whereas this is more in keeping with the tones used on the aft end of Sunstorm. So there we go. We have two of these. We have the Megatron Gun, which is pretty much a standard now whenever you get a Seeker, which of course can be mounted on the underside using the yellow clips which is provided. That is stored underneath the base. The base itself actually has a Decepticon logo on, which is good. I like the fact that it's got Decepticon logo on, but that being said, we do get a selection of transfers. We actually get two more. I've already mounted those on the wings. Basically what you do, you cut out the shape roughly, just like make a line down here. Just don't go near the edges of the actual sticker itself. Place it on wherever you wish the sticker to be applied. Give it a rub and then pull the film layer off again, and the Decepticon logo sticks on there very nicely. It's a very clean way of doing it. I actually need to get some Autobot versions of this so I can do my KBB oversized MP21 Bumblebee. That'll be my next port of action. We get a very nice pearlescent purple shoulder section for the cape. The cape itself, again, is done in this gorgeous pearlescent purple. We do have some holes done throughout the cape there. I don't know if that's something to do with the injection molding, I'm not sure, but it's a nice cape, nice and fluid, and just a gorgeous colour. We get some very nice metallic purple shoulder pads for the coronation kit, and we get a matching crown, again done in this gold and very sparkly metallic purple. As previously mentioned, we do get the pilot, who are already mounted, and we do get the doctor as well, again done in a very nice chrome. Sunstorm comes sporting the Takara paint scheme, and the application is absolutely flawless. He looks incredible. I am so glad they went with the Takara colours. They were very close to his screen time accuracy. He wasn't on screen a lot, but from what we saw, he had white on the shoulders and he had those yellow wings with the white null rays. He looks very clean, very tidy, and a very professional finish. Now here he is alongside his Hasbro counterpart. Now don't get me wrong, the Hasbro version is probably the better of their Seeker molds. They've kind of refined it, their joints are nice and tight, and the overall aesthetic is nice, but it's just not really what I was after. I do like this kind of flame effect they have going on. Again, we've got the Decepticon logos on there. These sections here are very flimsy on mine. They do tend to keep falling off, especially this one. I mean, but all in all, it's not a bad rendition of Sunstorm. I just think BB7 have just done a better job. It's nice, it's tight. I've got a very clean transition there between the colouring. It's really crisp and everything's nice and tight. See what I mean about the logos there? Very nice transfers. Taking a look at the underside again, BB7 has a very clean paint application. They've got these nice kind of tempo graphic things going on here, or the paint is evenly applied and it's just a cleaner look and feel to it. I just don't like the Hasbro version underneath there. The reddy pink is just kind of splotched on there. It doesn't have a very professional look to it, and I don't really like this off-white either. It's neither here nor there. Sunstorm still does everything we need from a Seeker. The cockpit does open up. We've got a nice little seat on the inside there. We do have the radar dish mounted underneath the nose cone section. Tab that back in. These sections do move up and down, and the air brake section does, of course, lift up like so. Now, transformation for Sunstorm is exactly the same as what we get with all the other Seekers. Now, I have had a few people request that I do still cover the transformation, basically because the S model and the BB7 do not include any instructions with their figures. So to start off, we will grab this back section here, and by placing your hands underneath, just give this section a wiggle, and it slides these leg sections down. You can then split those apart, lift this section up, and that now allows us to bring down the toes, close that off, and on the back section here we want to rotate this around, and that's going to form the front toe. Bring this section across and then push these sections up on either side. Now untab the null rays, rotate them around so they're facing downwards, and then we can just come up to the wing sections and fold these over like so. Another thing I like is that we don't have any of the big Hasbro or Takara logos. Lift this tail section up. These wing sections are actually tabbed in at 3 points. You can just untab them from the side, lift those up. Now we can bring these wings up, and as we do so, just flip open the retaining tab, and that's going to come up, and that's going to tab these wings in to the top of the cockpit section there. Lift the arms outwards at the shoulder, which allows us to bring the hands out of this chest section. Move these arms forward, bring the hands down, and rotate this section around. Bring this section here down and around, sliding it in on the waist section. Bend the cockpit section like so. Open up this section, push the nose cone upwards. Just make sure that the head with spring-loaded ear pads can pass through this gap, feeding this nose cone section through as we go, bringing this chest section down, and then just rotate this section up, close off that chest section, bring down these shoulders on either side of that torso, using these built-in slider sections, which has a nice die cast section there. We want to slide the torso down and they've actually extended this peg section here, and once that's locked in there, that's really locked in. Attach these two sections together. As we push this down, you'll see this section disappear inside Sunstorm's torso, and we can just straighten this section up, collapsing that down fully. Now, that, in my opinion, is a gorgeous rendition of Sunstorm. I love the flames on the arms there. It's just a very nice colour. I love how we've got this kind of orange tint coming down, and we've got the yellow legs, which is kind of like the opposite of the wing sections. It's just a very solid, secure figure. Everything tabs in remarkably well. Articulation wise, it's the standard Seeker articulation, so we have head upwards and downwards. It can bobble forwards and backwards on this section here as well. We do have some quizzical tilting to the side, left and right motion. The arms can come outwards. We go forwards, we do get some pec chatter, like so. The pecs themselves do actually open up for breast rockets. We have an upper bicep rotation, we get a double jointed elbow, we get ball jointed null raise, the hands can rotate, and we have a ball mount for these three fingers, we have a ball mount for the pointing finger and an additional hinge on both, and the thumb is ball jointed with no additional articulation. I really wish they would do the KFC hands for these. They're already bootlegging the Takara figure, so why not just bootleg the KFC hands, because they are so much better than these. We do have a little bit of waist rotation in there. The hip skirts can move outwards. These sections can move forwards. The legs come this far forwards, this far backwards, out to the side, sort of, like that. We do get upper thigh rotation. There is actually the standard double jointed knees for Seekers, but you can never really benefit from the full range, and you always get this ugly looking knee section there, which I don't like. I don't like ugly double joints. The toes can pivot forwards and backwards on the heel spur, and we get the rocket sections are on a ball. That is all the articulation we have, but in my opinion that's all the articulation we really need. One of my biggest pet gripes about the Seeker molds are the ratchets in the hips. We go from here to there. It's quite a wide stance. I would have liked something a little bit in between, but that is my pet hate. You can still get pretty nice stance by bending the knee and twisting the hip, and of course we do get the flight stands, which work in both robot and vehicle modes, so it's not a biggie, but in my opinion it would have been better just to have additional ratchet movements in those legs. Here he is alongside his Hasbro counterpart. Now, I do like the Hasbro robot mode. I like the brown head. It definitely adds kind of character to the face, and again it mirrors on the thruster sections, the tips of the null raise, and on the ankles. And in fact I'll still be keeping the Hasbro version because I think it kind of just gives us another Seeker. These two look like very different characters when you have them both transformed up into robot mode. He could just be some sort of yellow fodder. I think there's a list of like 30 odd possibilities for Seekers, just because of animation errors, etc. So yes, he's going to be in my collection nonetheless, but I think I'll go with the BB7 as my go-to for Sunstorm. The only thing I think that Hasbro has over it is I really like that brown head sculpt. It just kind of switches it up a little bit and makes it a little bit different to all those other Seekers. Now, you know what, I was very late to the Seeker race and I never thought I'd be able to get any of them, but thanks to the likes of Yes Model, BB7, Bao, and even Takara deciding to reissue some of theirs, I've actually joined the race and I'm doing quite well. I'm still waiting for Takara to release their third and final Conehead. I've got the KBB other Coneheads to review and add to the collection. Of course, Acid Storm is still in the loft. I need to bring him down because we'll be getting a BB7 version of him soon. Still need to get the model stroke BB7 translucent purple Skywarp, which is him teleporting. They'll be doing a Starscream's Ghost version as well, and they're going to be doing the rest of the Rainmakers, etc. as well, like Hotlink. So I went from having 0 to a few. Now bear in mind that the KBB ones are my biggest problem. They do tend to fall apart. The Skywarp at the back there has lost an arm. The Thrust at the back there as well, his wing snapped, so they're going to have to be glued, and I've got to decide whether I'm going to keep those in robot mode or in vehicle mode. My Kubumbao version and Hasbro version of Thundercracker are again up in storage, so I still have to get those out. But once I get my display cases out and get all of my Masterpiece figures on display, then I'll give you a show of exactly what I've got. But today we are focusing on Sunstorm. Genuinely very, very impressed. It's a gorgeous looking figure. Just before we finish, let's take a look at how he looks with his cape, etc. on. And the answer to that question is he looks fabulous. If I had a chance to vote for Sunstorm for president, I would indeed do that. The purple is gorgeous on those shoulders, although it needs to be tucked in like that. The crown doesn't sit as well on his head as well as I would like. Kind of does spring off a little bit, but it's a very good look for him. Well done, BB7. I hope you've all found this video useful. If you have, feel free to give it a big thumbs up, share and subscribe. I've added a link at the top here with a playlist of all of my Seekers. Thanks again to the guys at TF Direct for making this review possible. And until next time, from myself and the BB7-02, thanks for watching. Goodbye. I look fabulous, fabulous Sunstorm.